Hey everybody, it's Rory from A&S Gear, and we're going to look at an accessory for your scope, sight slash flashlight, laser. I guess it'll really work for anything that's about a 1 inch in diameter. So this is an offset mount right here, and it is not a 45-degree offset mount, which will kind of put things at an angle. It is basically just a mount that will shift things left or right or up or down, depending on where you mount them on your gun. So this one here, we have this particular setup. This is a T15 from First Strike here. Now this, if I was going to run a scope, which I'm going to put on in a minute, I can put this here, or I could put it here. And I could run this on the left or the right side. Now obviously you're going to have to set this up depending on scope size, if it's really going to function for you, and make sure you can work around the pieces that are on the gun. You don't want it bumping into anything. So for me, being a right-handed player, or I'm going to shoot off my right shoulder, putting it on the left side here really works for me just fine. Now if you had a flashlight or a laser or something like that and you want to set it off, that'd be great too. But you could also mount this at the front and have it going down or going up. So if you want to mount that way, you can as well. So up or down, left or right, it's just going to shift it over or up or down instead of kind of at an angle like the 45 offset does. So let's go ahead and set this one up real quick. I'm going to take the screws off. Set it to the side, and then I am going to do off this way. So I'm going to start here. I'm just going to see where that puts me. I have to remember that I have 3 different options on here now. I've got my windage and elevation, and then I have my brightness of my reticle. So I do have to account for being able to adjust those things. So I'm going to put it kind of like this. But as this sits right here, I'm bumping into my charging handle on the back, so this won't accommodate that. So I'm going to need to take this off and move it a little bit forward. Let's move it up here. It looks like that should work out perfect, actually. Right there. It's not sitting so far forward that it's out of the position where it would be normally on the gun. Let's go ahead and just kind of set that down. All right, that goes on there. Let's put this one in over here. There's a nice little foam lining on the inside of this, or felt lining, I should say, not foam, so that it won't scratch up your scope when you tighten it down. All right. So there we go. You can see how it sets it right off the side up there. So if you were running maybe you had on this particular gun, you had your feed neck coming off here and the loader was over here. You could do that. Even though this is a little loose, even if I straighten it up, it doesn't make contact with the front of the scope. So on this particular scope, it would be a perfect setup right there. Easy to shoulder, easy to look down. I don't have to crane my head way over to the side to get to look through the scope. So I think that's a pretty trick setup right there. So again, if you've got something that it doesn't necessarily need to be a scope. It can be a sight. It could be a flashlight, a laser, whatever it is, 1 inch diameter this will accommodate. And obviously if you have something that's a little bit smaller than that, you could always put a little buffer inside there, a little piece of rubber or something to take up that space, and it would do the same thing. But it is a 1 inch, designed for a 1 inch diameter tube, and it's just an offset mount. Pretty cool. It's made by AIM Sports. It's available through the website. Order yours now through ansgear.com.